and even in the Jewish religion, I mean, Abraham is the beginning in this great line of Jewish kings, and Abraham is crossing the desert, coming back from killing all other pagan kings or whatever, and he comes across Melchizedek in the middle of the desert, and Abraham. They ask who each other is, and he says, "I'm Melchizedek, king of Salem," and Abraham gives him 1/10 of everything that he has acquired. And what's that called when you give up? Well, biblically speaking, when you give up an offering, when you give up 1/10 of your possessions or your money. Yeah. So Abraham, like the granddaddy in the Old Testament, tithes to this Melchizedek character from the king of an unknown kingdom, and kneels before him in the middle of the desert after he got back from kicking butt all over the place. So that's the only thing that we know about Melchizedek in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, he appears and talks about he appears, and his greatness or his power is again not questioned but illustrated. And he is seen. He's the royal priest in the order of whatever in the New Testament. And those are the only 2 times that he comes. But both times that he comes down, he has quite awesome authority and power that isn't questioned. And so we see him here again. And again, this is a very, very, very obscure biblical reference, and I'm not too sure. The only reason that he would put Melchizedek here as opposed to anyone else is because, one, there's not much that's known about Melchizedek, and two, the main thing is that he is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful characters in the Bible, and he's only appeared twice, and both times his power and his authority have never been questioned. So it's not like the boy knows exactly who he's talking to or anything, but it's the idea that Abraham didn't know who he was talking to either. He just said that he was king of Salem, and he was the high priest in the line of whatever. And Abraham took him at his word. And Abraham was a very, very powerful and strong guy. So there is no reason here why the boy shouldn't accept his word as the truth, because it's the idea that he says he's the king of Salem, and you believe him. Now, that's a lot of, I mean, I really didn't know who the guy was, so I had to do some research on him and look it up. And so now I understand why he would have that in there. But most of the time, again, it's easy, given the fact that he's talking about the language of the soul and language of dreams and all that, that he could meet a king of Salem, and, that sounds kind of, I don't know, authoritative or whatever, and sure, I'll take his word for it. So it's not a jump for us as the reader to believe that he would encounter someone that would help him out. On 21, we get back into this whole thing, because I keep on talking about faith like a child and childlike dreams. He says, it is what you've always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything that they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it is impossible for them to realize their personal legend. Again, this ties into that whole thing, and to a certain extent there is a lot of truth to that. It's not an absolute truth. It's not 100% true, but there is a lot of truth to what he's saying. On 22, something that's really important that shouldn't be misconstrued is he says, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. And on 23, I guess I'll tackle both of these at the same time. The old man continued, in the long run, this is in the middle of 23, in the long run, What people think about shepherds and bakers becomes more important for them than their own personal legends. Okay, first of all, the thing on 22, because this is quite a statement. And again, this is a statement to the reader, not just within the context of the story. The author is trying to talk to the reader, is trying to pass on his message, and that he does believe that when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Do you think that's true? Because that's a pretty bold statement. You can speak, talk.
Not entirely.
Well, then that wouldn't be a true statement then.
Yeah.
Anybody else? No one care to venture a guess. This is a yes or no answer.
No.
Truth. Thank you. Good. Easy. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty stupid to say, that when you want something, well, it doesn't say how badly you want it, that all the universe conspires to help you achieve it. Now, you'll see at the end of the story how this is true and how it's not true. I think we've talked a bit about this, and this goes back to children. What is the worst thing that you can do for your kid, but you want to do more than anything? Right. So when your kid wants something, do you give it to them? Do you maybe give it to them if they've, as a reward? Do you maybe give it to them if they work to earn it? Never. It falls into more of that line, because if you say that, if the universe conspires to help anyone achieve anything they want, well, that's not true. But at the same time, he not me, guys. I'm not some new age guru, but he is saying that it is true, because it wouldn't be, because then you'll see here, he doesn't get. He goes to, his journey is a very, very long one, right? It's years and years in the making, getting this treasure. And what is the treasure? At the end, the treasure is not what he thinks the treasure is, even though he gets the treasure. I know that's vague, but it's vague on purpose. The same way with a child. You don't give a child exactly what it wants whenever it wants it. If a child wants something bad enough and you care about the child, and if it's within reason, if it's a childlike toy, if it's a childlike want, then if they're good as a reward, or give them work to do, right, and then or on a special occasion. But if a child acts like a brat, they're not going to get everything. Well, hopefully, the child wouldn't get everything that it would want for Christmas or for whatever. It requires a certain behavior, right? It requires certain action for a child to get what it wants. And that's the idea here with this saying the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. Because ultimately, getting what you want easily, things that come easily in life, people don't appreciate what they get. And that can be through them being spoiled their whole lives because of their parents, or just there's some people that things just come easily to them. Anything and everything just comes easily to that person. Well, they're never able to, things that people that things always come easy to are never really able to fully understand the depths of their reward, the depths of their achieving what they've longed for. Like if a goal comes easily to you, then that goal is not nearly as precious as someone that's worked very, very hard for that, and so you're able to appreciate it all the more. And so that's kind of what he's getting at here. People that the universe or life or whatever, karma, chi, whatever you want to say, people that are just charmed in life are never really as appreciative and never really understand the depths of sacrifice and through struggle, and that ultimately makes what you achieve in life, all the sweeter, right? And all the more meaningful. And ultimately, richer for you, those that do struggle, those that do have to work and are given or not given a reward, but you achieve your goal. That a feeling of accomplishment is what they're saying when the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it, because you are achieving something. If something comes easily to you, you're not achieving it. So, in the sense, if you say that if you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it, well, if you think that he's taking it as the universe gives it to you, then right, that would be a lie. But what he's saying is that the universe helps you achieve it, and achievement is something much different than a gift. So, those that are given things in life don't achieve much, even if we see it as achievement, right? It's not an achievement. So, does that make sense? Okay. On 23, whenever I said, in the long run, what people think about shepherds and bakers becomes more important for them than their own personal legends. And to me, that's basically, it's going straight to the sheep and talking about social conformity. And well, I'm not going to go off on a tangent on that one. But that's basically about social conformity and him starting to realize more about what he's learned from the sheep versus what the sheep have learned from him, and how he's conformed to them. On 26, he goes to the window for the ticket, and the man asks him, says, "Can I help you?" And he says, "Maybe tomorrow." If he sold just one of his sheep, he'd have enough to get to the other shore of the strait. The idea frightened him. Another dreamer said the ticket seller to his assistant, "He doesn't have enough money to travel." This ties into 27, towards the bottom, where he says he had to choose between something he had become accustomed to and something he wanted to have. Again, this is that whole idea of achievement, right? Versus achieving something versus being given something. And the notion that, in reality, especially, this book applies much more to people, much more to Americans or people in first world countries, developed countries, than it does to people in third world countries and living in poverty. Because we're so lucky here that, in reality, our whatever dreams or whatever we wish to accomplish, for the most part, if we really, really want to, we have most people have the means or the opportunity to achieve that, much more so than the rest of the world. But there is, well, first of all, there's the fear of failing. There's the fear of change more than anything else. Fear of failure and fear of change, and fear of looking like an idiot. And that goes back to, I wasn't going to get into it too much, was the idea of people care more about what they think of them as bakers or as shepherds than their own personal legend. And so we're going to get introduced to the crystal merchant here in a little bit. But we see that Santiago is thinking that he has to choose between something that he had become accustomed to and something he wanted to have. And this is the downfall of most people, and this doesn't have to be when people talk about and within the context of this book and people talking about this book, their personal legend and all this stuff, it doesn't necessarily. Coelho's not pushing for a whole another, he's not trying to get people uprooted from their homes and leaving the country and traveling and going to find, your personal goal can be whatever. It can be a daily thing. It can be a goal that's set for your everyday life that may take forever to change. But if you change, then that's a good thing. Or it could be a financial goal, a professional goal, whatever. Or